Mike's really close.
All right, we're live.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hazmat Guys Nation Roundtable. This is a multimedia platform bringing hazmat response information and training tips from members around the world, around the globe. And we are on our new digs. Look at this. Look at us. Very fancy people. I am acting as the host once again tonight. My name is Bobby Salveson, and I am joined by the usual cast of characters here: Mike Monaco, Phil Ambrose, Bob Kosh, and in front of the green screen, Jason Rogers, who is muted right now, and we're working on the technical difficulties. But wow, this is amazing. Look at this. Very fancy. We are here, Christine. The party has started, I guess. if you can call it a party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't this pretty cool? Is this what you guys? I think this is pretty good stuff, right?
Yeah. It seems so far like it's going to at least work.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is going to be pretty cool. We have new things. We can do a poll in the room, which we're going to kind of play around with a little bit. There's a thing called offers, like if we were trying to sell you something, we can do it through there. There's also videos and stuff like that where we can do a lot of cool stuff. And I believe, and Mike could probably confirm this with me, basically once you put your email in there the first time, anytime we schedule a new one, it'll just say, hey, they have another class. Do you want to do it again? Right? Is that?
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for.
Good. So I think that's kind of a one-time deal where you put that in there, and it seems a little bit. Yeah, Mike is a little bit low. We're working on that. I don't know what the hell that is over there. He's riding a rocket ship over there. But anyway, what do we got this week?
Where do we start?
Where do we start? I don't know.
The guy that has the most to say has no audio.
Yeah, right. We could just do some
Just write it on a board.
Yeah, we could do little finger things.
So here's what
But he has an echo. Who is that echo? Me?
All of us, I think.
Yeah, I think so. We're working on that. I don't know if it's the platform, if it's just supposedly it's my board. My mixing board is something's weird.
Except for now and then it kind of pops like it's gonna
Blow?
But it's good.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. All right. Well,
All right, well, since this is the first time that we're on this with an audience, because believe it or not, we did try this a couple times, even though it doesn't seem like it. We did. One of the things this has the capabilities of doing is poll. So I've got a little poll set up here, and we're going to give it a shot. So there's the poll. If you guys in the chat room can go ahead and give it a shot. Yes, no, thanks.
can I do a poll? I want to do it.
Yeah.
See, can you guys do a poll? Can you click on poll?
I can't. It doesn't let me do it. It just lets me end it.
I can end it.
But you guys can't click on poll.
Says it's working.
It was very positive. It's starting to wane. Oh, that's never good. All right, well.
Well, while we're doing that, I got a quick little 2-minute thing.
Yeah, please.
Somebody sent me. I promised I wouldn't mention their name or their department that they work for. But basically, it goes back to bringing stuff back to the fire station. There was recently, and I think we talked about it on one of the shows, and if I stop, it's because I'm letting the echo catch up. When we were talking about the safes and the nitro, the glycerin stuff that could be in there, apparently there was an agency that the law enforcement took this back to the firehouse. The firemen didn't really know what it was, or maybe they had an idea. And they saw the crystallization, and this thing was rolling around on the table and could have rolled off and caused, as we all know, a big problem. So this person and I got in a discussion. He totally agreed with not bringing stuff back to the firehouse. But I wanted to share that with everybody because talking with the guys in the class today that are in the Hazmat Tech class, even though they're not techs yet, they've been bringing stuff back to the station for years. So it kind of got me thinking, if this happens in one or two places, it's probably happening a lot more around the country. We, as a probably I don't want to say SOP, but we don't typically bring anything back. We label stuff in drums, and we leave it for the contractor. Now, I will say there is times where we pick up absorbent pads, booms, and whatnot, put it in a 55-gallon open, and bring it back, and then we have a cleanup company come and pick it up from there. But that's only if there's nobody to take possession of it, i.e. the spiller or something along those lines. Anybody else?
Well, we many eons ago, through the ages and eons and stuff, we used to take gasoline and diesel back to the firehouse to, for the guys. And it stopped. It stopped a long time ago because, you start getting to the legality of transporting any hazardous materials, not only on a fire truck, but you start getting into that 49 CFR standard where you have to placard it. What happened? And I'm not even. Well, I am going to get into it. What happens if the officer of the rig, let's say the thing's involved in a rollover, or somebody gets hurt, and they go, "Wait a second, you had a closed-end pipe bomb on your rig? Oh yeah, but it didn't have a fuse. It's still a pipe bomb, right? And I'm not going to say that did or did not happen in the place that I'm employed in, but it might have, something like that. Propane tanks, hydrofluoric acid, hydrosulfuric acid. Mike, can you go? The list goes on and on of people that have brought things back to the firehouse that have been insanely outside of regulations, I'll say.
Yeah, and it's all been stuff that people thought was best bet because you think you have something and you don't want to leave it out in the public. So what do you really do? At this point, you're kind of like, do I leave it here? Do I bring it back? It's this kind of conundrum. Like, all right, even if I'm waiting for people to come and fix this, is this something that's gonna, do I need to evacuate? Do I need to let it sit here? We have a code where we're supposed to bring back fireworks, but at what point does it not become a firework and it become an actual explosive device? So,
right.
What are your SOPs and how does everything kind of fall into place?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because you're gonna have to placard it. Especially with fireworks, where I believe our regulations say that you're supposed to bring fireworks that are confiscated back to the firehouse for disposal by the fire marshals. Technically, and I'm not sure exactly what classifications, but it's basically everyone. The explosives class, right? I mean, basically every single class of explosives, with I think exception of 1.6 or something like that, has to be graded in any quantity.
Right.
I should look that up. I shouldn't have shot from the hip on that one. I should have looked that one up.
Phil's got a great question. Posted it. What does everybody say?
That was just the truth. If you want to get rid of fireworks, burn the firehouse.
Absolutely.
And we could do a poll on our audio. And that's good stuff because I know in the state of California, DTSC and CHP, is it same every place else? You have to have a hazardous waste hauler license and all that stuff. And we have the exemption if we just take it straight to our disposal facility. But we try not to bring it back to the station.
Like Kerr says, once you bring it back, you own it.
Yeah, and it's going to be very hard to, and maybe not just explosives, but I'm talking about like acids and bases where, at least in where we work, the legal area to drop it is between 5 and 9. So you have to get the pH between 5 and 9. And some of these, extreme high molarity, high concentration pH acids, it can take in the order of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of gallons to neutralize it. It could rot out your whole sink before it's even close to being coming down one button. All right, good talk, guys. You guys suck. All right. So, did we? Oh, do you want to talk about that whole thing?
We're trying to fix the technical issues on Roger's end.
Ah, okay.
So I apologize for not jumping in.
We're working on that. We had a fire chief bring back 30 pounds of liquid mercury back to the station.
That's Bob L. from Mass.
Yeah, we actually, it's kind of funny. We just, and Mike's just saw it tonight because we just got back. I went home and Mike is now working. We kind of relieved each other. And when I got in there was a Ziploc bag with it said mercury. It was on the workbench. And it was a small vial, like size of a tumbler of glass or something to that effect. And when you pick it up, it was heavy, like 7, 8, 9 pounds, full of mercury. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where, but it's on our table, brought back there. I mean, we have to have in Firehouse, have to have, what, over 50 pounds? 60 pounds, Mike? Okay, yep, that sounds right. And that's about it.
You can always take something and point to it and light it off or something.
Yeah, listen, we can propane tanks. We have so much stuff in the back of our firehouse. It's ridiculous. It's good stuff. Bob, did you have any further information on that one story we were talking about earlier?
Yes, I forgot to bring it up earlier before we went live. I got a little bit more information talking to some people closely involved with the turnpike call that some of you guys might remember with the Porsche, the lady and the kid in the car. The closest engine was on scene in less than 10 minutes. They staged and set up decon. They're estimating almost 1,200 feet away. So as I talked to the guy and I said, listen, I don't want a Monday morning quarterback anything, but why was that the designated spot? And somebody, he didn't really mention who, made the decision that this is how far we're going to be based on what the law enforcement people were telling them, which was their eye and skin would burning. We had a long talk, and I think it was kind of understood that you're in the atmosphere, you're outside, you can get so much closer. And when I asked if anybody from FD went up there and did a quick look-see or whatever, and they didn't, and because they were more focused on the law enforcement guys who had said in their radar reports that the people in the car were believed to have already been dead, or I think they called it a Signal 7 or something like that.
So they were calling a crime scene backup.
Yeah, so there was kind of which way do we go, but based on the information they were already getting, that's why they didn't go right up right away, and they were more focused on deconning the law enforcement guys that were complaining of signs and symptoms. After we had a long discussion of what you can do in bunker gear and SCBA, especially in the fresh atmosphere, I think some people were not second guessing themselves, but thinking, maybe we could have went up and looked a little bit more detailed. Further discussion, one of the guys said that the vent tube for the battery, and if Paul Rogers is listening, this would be great to get some information from him, but that vent tube appeared to be clogged. That comes from the battery, and that might have been why there was a buildup of gases. The battery did what it did, and they also told me that this, and within a couple years of the year of this vehicle, had similar incidents where another person felt ill. It was there was never a lawsuit, there was never anything out in the public, but when they did further research, they found 3 other incidents of this. Never recall, anything like that. So after this particular make and model, I guess they changed the design a little bit, and they haven't had that problem. Again, this isn't confirmed. I haven't confirmed this. This is just hearsay of people that have looked into it a little bit further than I have.
All right. So, do you want me to, I mean, I'd like to comment on this because
Please.
Christine set up there for a Porsche. Was it a Porsche? What was it?
It was a Porsche Cheyenne.
Okay, Cheyenne. So one of those SUV. What was the Hazmat? It's still up in the air. Of what exactly it was, right? Is it specific yet? Did they really narrow this down?
No, the ME won't do that. He is calling it accidental undetermined.
Okay.
Although everybody I've talked to, people that have seen the battery and everything else says it came from the battery.
Okay. I'm seeing up there Bob Stern is saying that if you have 0 CO and HCN readings at the commander's decision, you can drop the SCBA. I'm going to say I disagree with that. Maybe that's just me. You guys can talk it up as you want.
We were sidebarring. That's Bob Lundgren, and we were sidebarring on post-fire. So I think we had a side discussion going on, I think, if I get that right.
No, I'm seeing that from Bob Stern gases.
Oh.
I'm going to say that I disagree with that because, and listen, I understand the premise of what he's doing. When you have an outside situation, if you have low levels, they're going to be low. They're going to precipitously drop off as fast as possible. But, when you get up to that car, they will rise just as quickly. And so in order for us to go in, if we're affecting a rescue, I would say you're going to need it. I am not a fan of going, holy cow, it's level A. Holy cow, everything's level A. Everything's SCBA. I'm kind of a simple guy. I don't like to put on my stuff if I don't need to. But this is one of those things where if I have a kid and a lady that's dead/passed out in the middle of nowhere with no known causes, I don't care what my meters say. I'm going to be wearing my SCBA. It's free. I don't pay for this stuff. That's my
air's free. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's saying my issue is awful. I 100% agree. If you're going to get your face up and in there, or in that case, he's probably talking about fire. I agree with you. Listen, I came from the older school where you took a feed. It showed that you were kind of what you could take, kid. My first couple of fires, I couldn't get an SCBA. They wouldn't give me one because they wanted to see what I had. I thought we were discussing that. I apologize if I was going against that one. But as far as that run we were talking about with the Porsche, I would wear a CBA within 20 feet of that thing, maybe even more.
Yeah.
Because, that is a total unknown that something is going on that's way out of the realm of my meters. Because you're going to have to be up in this grill before you even pick up someone, any one of the meters. I don't care what metering technology you're taking. It could be IMS through mass spec to GCM. It doesn't matter. You're not picking it up until you get close.
Yeah. And this keeps coming up, but for good reason, man. This is and is my echo too horrible? Because we could just let Bobby do all the talking.
No, don't do that.
Jason's just saying yes because he can't get on.
No.
You're a jerk.
Well, I woke up this morning to another LA police pursuit, and the guy was armed, the guy was shooting us. It was an exciting one to watch, and they're coming up close, and they're dealing with lead, which is worse than anything we're talking about in high velocity. And you watch the cops, and they kept getting closer and closer and closer to the vehicle. Why? Because they kind of had a tactical advantage. Same thing with us. It's an unknown, but you approach with your BA. You keep going, and I'm not advocating just waiting for birds to drop from the sky. But I have been tasked by Penwell to write a little paper before my FDIC presentation, and I've been getting great information from everybody, a lot of people that are on this board, including Todd Burton, with incidents that really could have gone sideways if they decided to wait for hazmat, and a couple of them where they did, and it potentially would have killed the victim. So I'm glad Bob got some new update on this, and I don't blame anybody that was there, but I just want to keep advocating just because it's not on fire. Put on your BA and go start a rescue.
You know, I just want to comment on Kevin, and I'm sorry if I can't really. Kevin WSFD. I don't know what department you're from, Kevin.
Should be Kevin Ryan, I think.
Should be Kevin Ryan.
From Baltimore, city of Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who has? We'll mention it later. The Buzz blog.
A great point. He said the guys in Amarillo, Texas. Again, not 2020 in hindsight. These guys, two completely different scenes, but the guys in Amarillo chose to rescue. They saw these kids, basically kids on the threshold. They did a snatch and grab and they ran. And the guys in Florida said they're going to stand off and let it play out. You can't fault either one. It comes down to the scene, the guys there, and saying, you know what? I look around and I got the D team behind me. I'm going to wait this one out. I'm not saying that what's happening, but, you know, that's part of that whole scene size up.
Well, and I think what's happening now is the education because that department didn't have a hazmat team. They had to wait for an adjoining county, which was like an hour and a half. They are now putting together a hazmat team, which is why they were in the class over the next. They're doing like 3 or 4 classes, so they're putting like 60 guys through. And not because of this specific incident, but so that they can handle things on their own a little bit better. But when we talk about PPE and properties and what you can do and not do, I think the light bulb's coming on a little bit more because you guys all know in your departments, when you mention hazmat, everybody's like, oh my God, we need to stay away. And until you start educating these people and they go, listen, this is what you're dealing with. You're out in the open and whatever. This is what you can do. They go, you know what, you're right. And I would never, ever second guess anybody, Monday morning quarterback, anything. But I will help educate people just so they know, because unfortunately there's a lot of people out there that don't. And they think level A all the way. And that's so wrong. And I won't get on that soapbox. But conversely, there was another incident here in Florida on an interstate. 2 kids in a car. They were totally fine. The parents were passed out next to the vehicle. You can go to hazmatnation.com and read the whole story. But what they've come to find out is they think that the parents had a drug history and they possibly overdosed, felt themselves losing control, pulled over, stepped out of the vehicle, and passed out and died, or whatever the case may be. The kids were sitting in the car fine. So you pull up on that scene, and you see 2 people pass out next to the vehicle. What do you do?
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
You know what part of it too is? It's like as an officer, especially with guys that aren't regularly on my crew, we go on certain types of calls, you know, those warblers like a fire alarm. And they're looking at me, hey, what's Cap putting on? Is he putting on his turnouts? And we kind of get in that mode of EMS, what do you wear? Heck, in the Southwest, they wear shorts, right? Phoenix area. You put on turnouts. And so what gets kind of funky, I think, is when they walked at Amarillo, that came in, I believe, as an EMS call. And in a way, we're not really used to that. When we're showing up on a fire with all our, you're not going to show up on every call wearing your BA. So I think it's tough to switch on the fly. A lot of the comments were, hey, tailboard guys have a tough time with hazmat, but let's face it. We do hazmat all the time.
Right.
Just like how there's still people that resist EMS. Guess what? We do that all the time. And it just comes down to you might have to make that decision to switch PPE. It's just not that easy. It's not like, oh, I'm going to tase them instead of shoot them. You got to run and go get it.
Right.
But the more we talk about it, heck, my crew, we've talked about Amarillo, and it's like, what do you do when you go up to the door and they say, hey, guess what, this seizure is now full arrest? You run back and get maybe something you didn't bring to the door. It's going to be no different now for somebody going back and maybe throwing a BA.
Well, you know what, Todd Brunton is just mentioning the 330 rule, and I'm posting it here right now. There was a document that was put out. I don't remember when it was put out, but I know it was killed in 2003. And it basically Oh, I'm trying to remember what the heck it said. It said basically if you have a snatch and grab, you can do it in 3 minutes, and if you're going to be in monitoring, it's 30 minutes or something like that. I know I'm probably.
I think line of sight was like 3 minutes or something.
That's what it was. It was line of sight. Yeah. So if you don't know it, a lot of people still refer back to it. It is still very an applicable, realistic thing, but it's been replaced, I believe, with like the mission-specific outlook on where NFPA 472, 471, and all those ones went to WMDs and stuff like that, where they started turning the direction, and it kind of assimilated all of the stuff into one thing. So that's pretty much where the 330 rolled into. But yeah, so the 330 was part of the program. Yeah, sure, it was a very important part, because that was basically the beginning tenet of mission specific garb, modus operandi, metering technology, everything, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So, well, we're up to 26 minutes, and I think we're going to kind of kill it because we still are down 2, so we're only on 3/5 of a cylinder right here. So we'll just go around the table. And guys, listen, this was the first out of the box. We appreciate you sticking with us. I promise you we're going to do a couple of these test episodes this week. So if they come out in your email that we're signing on with one, if it's not Tuesday night, it's probably not going to be a real episode. So if you want to see us jerk around a little bit. But anyway.
Yeah, jump in and say hi.
Yeah, you know what? Stop in and say, hey, what's going on? So that wraps up another episode of the Hazmat Guys Nation Roundtable. Please be sure to follow us on Facebook at Hazmat Nation, the Hazmat Guys. Let's go around the table. Mike, can we hear you? Come in.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Yes, go. I'm in the newsroom.
Mike at thehazmatguys.com is where you can email me. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at the Hazmat Guys, and catch our show. We're doing a couple of different things. We're bringing back an old segment called the Hot Wash. So looking forward to that in the future. And if you'd like to contribute to the Hot Wash, please feel free to reach out and give me a jingle.
Phil?
Sorry about the echo, everybody. And see you next Tuesday. Thanks for everything. Stay tuned to Hazmat Nation, and we just started a new sub-blog, the Buzz blog by Kevin Ryan. Check it out. It's actually absolutely awesome.
All right, Bob, what do you got?
Bob Coscignano, you can hit me at bobcosh@hazmat.com. hcmtlt@gmail.com, and I'll be at Fire Rescue East next week. So if anybody's there, come buy me a beer.
Yeah, good. And I am Bobby Solison, and I am one of the other co-hosts of the Hazmat Guys podcast with Mike, and we have some pretty cool stuff. We have one of my good friends from the National Fire Academy coming on to give hazmat code enforcement information, which is a lot more in depth than you think. He goes deep into 704 diamonds. I don't think it's going to be very dreary. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Oh, look, it's the horse. And what else we got? Oh, we just got hired to do the cold zone. It's going to be very cool to do. The cold zone, we are very excited to do that. That's coming up May 10, 11, 12. See, that's one of our jerks that we work with. He's getting sign-off so he can be in the company. Don't sign it off, Mike. He's not good.
Fail him.
Be sure to catch us next week live every Tuesday at 21:15 hours Eastern Standard Time on this new channel, which is the webinarjam.com. We will also be producing a live, not a live, but a podcast version of this that you can find on iTunes under the Hazmat Guys Nation. And this will also be put into YouTube for your looking pleasure. What? Are you going to Fire Rescue East? 75% is saying no. Damn you. We should do that for everything. See how many people would have gone in and out. We'll have to work on that, the polls. So that's it. And you can check this video out on our YouTube channel, which is thmgnation@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you next week, hopefully without these problems. Goodbye.
Be safe.